Hello, Democrats. My name is Jeff Kurtzen. I'm the CADEM Region 3 Director in Northern California, and I am happy to bring this training to you today. In this training, we'll go over how to cast your ballot for the Endorsing Caucuses at the November 2023 convention in Sacramento. So, who can vote? First of all, you must have paid your annual delegate dues and convention fee. This is a basic requirement just to be credentialed at convention. Only delegates or their registered credentialed proxies may vote. Club reps and non-delegate Central Committee members who are eligible to vote at pre-endorsement conferences are not eligible to vote in endorsing caucuses at the convention. You must also have gone to credentialing on-site at the convention center and have received your credential. If you do not check in and get your credential at the convention center, you will not be eligible to vote. Credentialing is open Friday from 3 to 8:30 and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you do not get your credential by 1 p.m. on Saturday, you will not be eligible to vote. Your DSCC ID number is very important. Is your ID while you are at the convention. You can find it at the bottom of your credential, whether you are a delegate or a proxy. If you are a proxy, the number is the delegate's ID number, which you will be using to vote. The credentials shown here are the credentials from the May convention, but credentials are very similar from year to year. Also very important, at credentialing, verify the email address CADEM has on file for you. When you sign your name at the register at the credentialing table, check the email address that is listed whether the volunteer points it out or not. That is the email CADEM will be sending the login information to. If you are a proxy, you should also be sure that the correct email address is listed for you. As the proxy, you will be voting on behalf of your appointing delegate. If the email address is wrong, whether you're a delegate or a proxy, ask the volunteer how you can correct it, and they will direct you to the appropriate table where you can get your email address updated. Voting will be open Saturday, November 18th from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. For this convention, I'm happy to announce that we'll be using Election Buddy to electronically cast and tally our votes. Around 3:30 p.m. on Saturday, you'll receive your login instructions. The subject of the email will be Endorsing Caucus. Voting begins at 4 p.m. And it will come from CDP staff at the email address endorsements@cadem.org. Note the email address it was sent to is the one I confirmed with the volunteer at the credentialing table. Election Buddy will ask us for an access key. We are using our DSCC ID number for the access key. Again, you can find that number at the bottom of your credential or in this email. For the password, we're using a simple 4-digit PIN number. Even though you'll be receiving this information before the start of the voting, you will not be able to log in until balloting begins at 4 p.m. If you run into any technical issues or need any other assistance, please go to the voting room at the convention center in rooms A02 and A03. Please do not try to text, phone, or email staff, as they may not be able to respond while voting is in progress. At or after 4 p.m., click the link in the email to launch Election Buddy in your browser. You may use a computer, tablet, or mobile device to cast your ballot. So I'll go ahead and click on the link in my email, and that takes me to Election Buddy. For the sign-in, it asks for the access key. As we learned from the login instruction email, we will use our DSCC ID number there. So I'll go ahead and type that in. And then for the password, I'll need the 4-digit PIN from the email. I'll go ahead and type that one in too, 6304. When you're typing in the password field, you'll be able to click on the I symbol over on the far right of the box to reveal the PIN to make sure you're typing it in correctly. But I'm pretty confident that I've entered the PIN number correctly, so let's just continue. I'm going to click on the Vote Now button to go to the ballot. When you get to your ballot, there are some very important notes at the very top. Your ballot should display all of the races in which you are eligible to vote. Most delegates will only be voting in the U.S. Senate race. Some delegates may also be voting in a legislative endorsing caucus, which will appear on their ballot. CADEM bylaws require the option of no endorsement for every endorsement. A vote of no endorsement is included in the vote tally to determine if the candidates reach the 60% threshold for endorsement. A vote to abstain, however, is not included in the vote tally and is considered as if you didn't even vote. So why include it on the form, some might ask? Because you must cast a vote in each race in your ballot. If you have more than one race on your ballot, you might wish to vote in one of the races but not in another. This option allows you to opt out of the second race without impacting the outcome. Again, you must click the Submit button at the end of the vote process for your vote to be received and counted. Also, all votes are public per DNC and CADEM bylaws. This ballot is for the U.S. Senate. There are 2 races for the U.S. Senate, one to complete the term of Dianne Feinstein and the second for a full term. As such, you may see 2 races for U.S. Senate on your ballot. On the actual ballot, you will also see the 4 official candidates, plus the options of no endorsement and abstain. On this fictional ballot, I have several candidates plus the no endorsement and abstain options. I'm going to go ahead and vote for Lady Gaga. After casting your vote, click the Continue button to review your vote. It's very important to note that your ballot has not been submitted yet. Well, I voted for Lady Gaga, so this is fine. So to complete the vote, I'm going to click the Submit button. CADEM will immediately be notified of your vote, and you should not be getting any reminder emails. This ballot is very similar, but as a resident of the fictional AD 81, I have both U.S. Senate race and the Endorsing Caucus vote for AD 81. We have the exact same instructions at the top of the ballot, so I'm not going to go over them again. For U.S. Senate, I'm going to go ahead and vote for Lady Gaga. Now, for AD 81, I'm going to vote for Luke Skywalker, and then click Continue, so I can review my ballot. If there's something wrong, I can click the Edit button to go back and review the information that I've entered here. But I'm satisfied with the choices, so I'm going to click the Submit button. Note the confirmation code on this page. If you are voting and do not get a confirmation code, you are not done, and you should try accessing the ballot again from the beginning. Election Buddy will not send you a confirmation of your vote. This page is the only confirmation you will get, so if you are concerned, you might wish to screenshot it. You do not have to be in the voting room or even at the convention center to cast your ballot. You must have been credentialed, however. The legislative endorsing caucuses will be meeting near the voting room from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. If you are voting in a legislative endorsing caucus, this is your opportunity to hear from the candidates. Check the official agenda for room numbers or Alfred Twu's incredible unofficial election schedule. You will receive at least 2 emails, one at 3:30 p.m., which I showed you, and one at 4 o'clock p.m. Everyone who is eligible to vote will get both of these emails. The first is the heads up with the login information. The one at 4 o'clock is the confirmation that voting is officially open. It will also include your login information. If your vote has not been received, you will get reminders at 5 o'clock and at 6 o'clock p.m. If for some reason you haven't voted by 5 or your ballot has not been received by 5, you will get a reminder to vote. If you believe that your ballot should have been submitted and you get the reminder, try logging in again. If you are able to successfully log in, your ballot has not been received and you should complete the ballot again. Be sure to click the Submit button at the end. If you try to log in and it says your ballot has already been submitted, then you can ignore the reminder email. You will also get a reminder email at 6 p.m. if you haven't voted by then. Once you vote, however, you will be removed from the reminder email list. For questions or assistance before convention, please email endorsements@cadem.org. For questions or assistance at convention, please go to the voting room at the Convention Center in rooms A02 and A03. As a regional director, I want to remind you again, please be patient and be nice to the staff and the volunteers. They have worked very hard to make this work for all of us. Also, I do want to point out that CADEM does listen to our concerns and tries to address problems and issues. From the staff to the officers to your regional directors, we are listening to the constructive feedback as well as complaints to make sure that the entire process works for everyone. Many of us know there were a lot of problems with electronic voting for officers at the May convention. As a result of this, CADEM adopted Election Buddy, which has been successfully used by multiple caucuses and committees. We think that this is going to be a much better process for the convention. In addition, some delegates did not get the election email. As a result, CADEM changed the email system for delegate communications. The email system is no longer tied to the fundraising emails that you received from info@cadem.org. For more information before the convention, you can go to cadem.org/endorsements. Also, for the results, shortly after 7 p.m. on Saturday, you can also go to cadem.org/endorsements. Again, this has been Jeff Kurtzen, Region 3 Director for CADEM in Northern California. Thank you very much and have a great convention.